Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz, April 19, 2017, 11:11 p.m. Birmingham. And the topic, although the information I'm giving you now may not seem like it, but it's actually part of prophecy. And you'll understand it. I'm going to hit and miss on some things, but you can put it together. Start with, and our president, proof, the evil left. Those who continue to create and cause problems are doing just that, continuing to create and cause problems. And these are the liberal media. These are the Democrats. These are those who have taken a more left turn than they ever had. But keep something in mind. Well, I'll tell you what, before I go there, I'm going to just tell you that the left hurts Trump in his decision making. On the other hand, it helps Trump in his decision making because more people see that the radical left has become just about that, radical. And people are seeing that they've kind of gone off the deep end. Of course, I mean, I've seen that. I've watched it since day one. And but let me say this, when Trump went over and sent a armada of ships, he did it to voice a loud no to North Korea. And North Korea got the message. What would Obama have done? He would have chose instead to play golf rather than show his might across the world. And close this book up here. And anyway, Trump showed them, and by showing North Korea, look, just quit messing with us, he's also showing the other countries, we are forced to be reckoned with. We're no longer Obama's country. He was a wimp. He chose golf. But he did something bad. And I'm going to bring up something that you all may have watched over and over and over by the left. Continue to show it over and over and over. And this is when they were having the ceremonial type thing. Anyway, Trump didn't put his hand up to his heart as they were singing the Star Spangled Banner. Melania had to tap his hand. When she did, it went up. That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal at all. I've done the same thing. And but no one said a word. When Netanyahu came the first time to Obama, what did Obama do? What is it that you don't do to Muslim? Doesn't have to be Islam. Doesn't have to be radicals. Just Muslim in general. Show them the soles of your shoe. You don't do it. That's telling them, kiss off. I don't care about you. In fact, I don't like you. That is exactly what Obama did to Netanyahu. He propped both his feet up on his desk facing Netanyahu. And when the picture's going over Netanyahu's left shoulder, all you can see is a foot about that long. And that's Obama's 2 feet. I guess he wears a size 14. I don't know. About as big as his mouth. But that's something that nobody talked about. No one. But it's a big deal when Trump was 3 seconds too late putting his hand up to his heart to our song. anyway, you get my point. And so let's move on to somewhere else. And I'm just giving you some of the other things that's going on. For example, did you hear, and I haven't verified this, but did you hear that Paul Ryan you're fired? I heard that today. And I actually got an email on it, and I got a guy talking about it. But I hadn't verified it. So I won't tell you that that did happen. Now, it may have been because when Trump went to Paul Ryan's city, Paul Ryan didn't even show up. He wasn't nowhere around. So Trump may have said, "You're fired." And deep down, Paul Ryan needs to be. I didn't like him from the get-go. I called him the bubblegum kid. And I said, and if you go back and look some of my blogs prior to or during the time that he made speaker, during the time that they were all running, there's how many on stage? 13, 14 on stage, 16, I don't remember, in Paul Ryan. But I said, that guy's just barely old enough to drive a car. Why put him up there to do something he can't do? But Paul Ryan got caught doing some unethical business without Trump knowing. And if indeed there's an issue made of it, then you'll hear about that. I won't go any more into that. I'm going to just tell you, it came up. Also, well, let me get to another part. I'm watching Prophecy Update, and I'm listening to several of their blogs, just so many of them. But I wrote down a number of that Prophecy Update just today. One day, Prophecy Update had 63 titles. Of the 63 titles, 9 were of the end times. And the 63 titles, I'm going to give you some of those. One, you had Chavez from Venezuela, and you have the new man that took his place, and I wrote it down somewhere. I don't see it, but take my word for it. They have a new president there, and he's been there since 2013, and they had a massive protest today, and that protest turned nasty. And what they were protesting was the way that the government was running the country in a socialist manner. They have failed. They're hungry. They have no clean water. They have no sewer. They're running out of food. They're having to have food brought in. There's no gas. I mean, there's a lot of it, but you can't get it. They can't get it for the cars. And the list is long, what these people are going through. And we want Sanders. He openly said, yes, I'm socialist, and if I'm elected, we'll be a socialist country. Well, Hillary Clinton didn't say those very words, but that's what she was running for, a socialist platform. In fact, she would have already turned it over. You know that. She would have already turned it over. And also, you have Assad, Syria. His wife is considered a cheerleader for evil. The United Kingdom wants her out. They want her out of her country, the United Kingdom. They said, she's the first lady of hell. This is Assad's wife. And ISIS, I told you that they were rid of from Mosul, but I did say they weren't gone. I said they're hiding out in the houses in and around Mosul, but they're acting like general population. I said those very words a number of times. Well, when they do that to blend in, they want to disappear because they don't want to get caught. Well, now ISIS is taking up talks with Al-Qaeda and teaming up because ISIS have lost so many in the recent few weeks. But ISIS came out of the woodwork in Mosul again today. Actually, it was yesterday. And there is a massive fight in Mosul. And once again, ISIS blends back in. They just hide out back into the general population. But what they did was they turned on civilians. They turned on the people they're hiding out with. Promise them, we won't hurt you and your family if you just don't tell anybody who we are. They turned on those people, the civilians, and they massacred a lot of them in horrible, horrible ways. That was yesterday. ISIS, they got to go. They got to go. The Fresno, California gunman, self-proclaimed Islamic terrorist, Al Akbar, as he killed 3. He wanted to kill many more, but he couldn't. Look, write down prophecy update. This is one word. Prophecy update at bak.rr.com. When you go there, subscribe to that. You will get an average of 2 prophecy updates a day. They're free. They just come to your email. And sometimes you will have 100 titles on one page. These titles tell you about what's going on, and then they'll break out those that are prophecy. And each of these titles of the 63 today, and then 9 of the 63 were end time, each of them, you can click on each, and each of them is a fairly lengthy message that you can read. And a lot of times you'll get a video out of that. But you can have this up-to-date prophecy update every day. And I store them in my, I don't know how many on my mail file, I have the list below. I have mine AAA, or 4A rather, prophecy update. And it's slam-packed full. In fact, there's so many in it, I can hold on to so many. I set a limit there, and the ones on the bottom drops off. So as I add 2 or 3 a day, the 2 or 3 a day will drop off from the bottom, but I've already been through those. And there's so many, I can't possibly tell you about all of them. And then you have Oath Keepers today. We're talking about the media subversive goals, and a title, could it be time to deny white man the franchise? That was a Huffington Post hoax, but yet is real. It's a hoax that they put on, but it's real because that is on their minds. Has white man run his course? Not in America. We were here long before you came, and we'll be here long after you're gone. It's like you come over and say, if you're not here after what I'm here after, you're going to be after I'm gone. So get out, go. We don't want you. If you don't want to live here in the freedom we have, leave. Go back home. There's so many. So many trying to create problems. Okay, right here, ISIS and Mosul, they unleashed a new level of brutality on civilians. And these are the homeowners that I told you about, that they promised, you don't tell anybody we're here or who we are, and we won't hurt you. But someone did. Someone did. Someone said, look, ISIS is at my house. That's why there was as ISIS was circled today by the Iraqi troops. Then ISIS unleashed a new level of brutality on the civilians. So one may have told, look, there's ISIS in a lot of these houses, but all of them got the message that somebody's told. So it's like, kill as many as you can kill until we get the right one, knowing they won't know who told, but they'll kill as many as they can kill. And then they will move on to a new house. Try to blend right back in. The cowards. Look, I'm shooting over my time. Russian envoy said, we recognize, and this is today, West Jerusalem is a Jewish capital. But we don't think we want to move our embassy from Tel Aviv. Well, who asked them to move it? It was Trump that said, I want to move the embassy to Jerusalem. Then Russia said, well, we recognize Jerusalem is, West Jerusalem is Israel's capital, but we're not going to move our embassy. They don't want you to, Russia. They want you to stay where you are. Greenland, a glacier. They said it's melting so quickly it could raise the sea level by 18 inches. I don't believe it for a second, not a second, and I'll tell you why. Same thing was said about a glacier in Alaska. It's now creeped up the valley over 2 miles, and at the base is 2 to 3 miles wide. The man that's taking the pictures stood, and you've heard this story before if you listen to me long enough. He stood in the same spot, a rocky spot with gravel at the base. This rock is 4 inches above the water because he said it was. But he never thought as to what he was doing and saying. He said, I'm standing on the same place for 20 years and take a picture of that glacier. That glacier is going to cause sea levels to rise. He's 4 inches above the water. You showed a picture of the water lapping at his toes. But 20 years later, the glacier is 2 to 3 miles at the base and scooted up the valley over 2 miles. Guess what? His feet still aren't wet. So why should Greenland's glacier melt and create an 18-inch rise in sea levels? It won't. Guys, we're just being fed. Quit eating that stuff. Quit eating. There's another glacier. Take it back. What's this? A big ice block? Iceberg broke off, and it's floating by Newfoundland right now. And it got hung up on the shallow waters, and there's 200 feet up in the air. That means what? There's 600 feet down below it. That's interesting. And another thing, there's a glacier in the western Canada that it blocked the Slims River, S-L-I-M-S, the Slims River. It blocked it, and it called the Slims River to merge in with another river. That was too much water for that river. Guess what happened? that river reversed its flow. It's now going east rather than west, and it takes a different trip going into the Pacific. It's interesting. That's today. And it took 4 days for the Slims River to quit running. 4 days. Interesting. Things happen. Jody Wolf Expoz.